Hey, ring ring.
Hello, Benjamin speaking.
Hey, Benjamin. Brandon Jeppson here. Look, you're probably gonna hate me. This is actually a cold call. I'm not sure if you want to hang up now or give me 30 seconds and then decide.
You can have 20 seconds. Shoot.
Yeah, okay. I'll give it to you in a sentence. I reached out to you. I saw you're over at the ops team there. Typically, I'm talking to ops teams and they're telling me their SDRs are spending like 70% of the time doing non-selling activities. Just wondering, are you wondering if your salespeople are doing the best they can and spending good time on the phones, or what does that look like for you in terms of your SDR growth?
I always think salespeople would be doing more on the phone. I'm not going to lie to you. They seem to avoid it like the plague, unlike you. So kudos to you.
Yes, thank you.
I would appreciate if they could be on the phone more. Why? What is it? Have you got some sort of magic cattle prod or something?
Well, I tend to think it's magic. You might not. And by the way, at the end of this, you can tell me how I'm doing on the phone. I'm sure with your experience, you'll probably have some thoughts. So if you don't roast me, you can at least give me feedback.
Right.
Typically, when I speak with ops leaders at high growth B2B brands like yours, lots of time is spent being frustrated about like internal processes, and those become a cash eating monster. So like, for example, different spreadsheets, managing data across reps and across teams. Also, with reps specifically on the phones, they're just spending, I call it dead air time, sitting there dialing. Nothing's really happening. They're just logging dials, if you want to call it that. So really, for you, it creates an informational bottleneck when it comes to actual go-to-market strategy. Does that sound familiar at all, or should I kick rocks at this point?
I can relate to some of it. So what is it? You got some sort of how are you going to get my guys on the phone more? I guess is what I'd be asking. How is this going to help my guys pick up the phone?
Yeah, that's a great question. Real quick, I'm going to answer that. I promise.
Yeah.
It sounds like some of it's relatable. Do you mind if I ask what parts, just so that I'm not throwing random bits of info at you and wasting your time?
Well, like I said, a lot of manual data. There's a lot of stuff my guys do manually that I think could be automated, and I therefore mean that they no longer have an excuse to be on the phone.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
No, that's valid. I totally see where you're coming from. Yeah, so I guess I might have mentioned this already. If not, the company I'm with is called FlowOps. We're designed to automate those repetitive processes and reporting. So essentially, like, you have a way to totally uproot some of these processes with dispositioning calls, logging them so that one, managers can actually track what's going on, but two, you actually capture potential real leads and actually be able to deliver value to them. And then also, so that's the visibility part. And then we're eliminating the input friction, and it's sort of, you've been in it for a while. It's death by 1,000 cuts with inputting Salesforce data or whatever CRM you're trying to keep as crystal clear as you can as you grow. So really, like, it's one part visibility, one part, reducing and or eliminating friction. Some cases nearly 50%. But all of this is me assuming to know your business just based on a little bit of research. How does this compare to your current tool stack?
Oh, okay, interesting. And is this a subscription sort of model, or would it be by the product or service?
Yeah, typically it's all rolled up in one subscription based on headcount. Yep.
Okay, yeah.
Sounds like you're familiar with the models, or are you using something currently to manage that?
No, we're not using anything. We're not using anything currently, but it's something we have been. It's something we've been considering. Something we've been looking into. Yeah. Is there a minimum number of users for something like this?
Yeah, I mean it's about 10. It's more a function of getting enough people to have like enough data to where it actually makes sense. We're not for everyone, Benjamin. So like there are definitely use cases where it's probably not even close to magic. It might just be smoke and mirrors. But where you have usage, sounds like your reps might be hitting the phone pretty hard. Within a month, we typically see with 10 plus users a sort of like saturation point where you can really dive in and have actionable insight, not just like little tidbits of data pushed to you via email or whatever. So be that as it is, like, what are your thoughts or feelings on moving from manual to automated? Like, I mean, that can sound really flowery and nice, but is there any sort of holdup leaving you, or that's like meant you wouldn't do this up to this point? Sorry, that was a little bit of a word salad.
Yeah, just a bit. Look, I'll tell you what. This is something. This is something we have been considering. We've been having conversations about it internally. So I'm going to suggest that we end the conversation there.
Closed.
Right. How'd
nice.
You find
I love that.
Yeah, it was good. It was good. Confident.
Thank you.
You're one of the few that was able to inject humor in a way that was appropriate and right, which is
Sure.
part of the battle. Actually, if you're able to engage, well done humor. So I'll give you that.
Right. Thank you.
I thought, again, you've got a nice sound. You're confident. Like I said, you got the good humor. I could see you've obviously done the pattern interrupt. I saw that in there, obviously.
Yeah.
So you did do something. I do this because I always do this. Whenever somebody says, "Can I have 30 seconds?" and you get the odd person that says you can have 20.
Yeah.
I'm always interested to see how people react. And you did it. You started to speed up really quickly. Did you notice it?
Yeah, I did a little bit.
Yeah.
That's
You
funny.
did a little, like, that's when a little bit of pressure gets applied to you by the prospect.
Yeah,
They suddenly try to
yeah.
wrestle control, and they say,
Right.
we can have 20. And then you go, okay, well, look, so what we do is we typically work, and then you start this straight out the
Right.
bat. So this is a little tip, because the key to good prospecting is always being in control. And I've had that happen to me. You can have 20. The comeback response to that is always, I'll be honest, I do need 30 seconds. Why don't I call
Okay.
back? Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah,
Do
you
people
gotta
take you up
wrestle
on that?
control Yeah, because
Yeah.
no one wants you to call back, right?
Right. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
So they go, go on then, have 30. So you don't want to feel under pressure to rush. That's really important, because that's when things can
Yeah.
go right.
Okay.
So you did well for selling a product that's not even real or doesn't exist from a company that we made up. So
Right on.
I can't fault that. A couple of things though, I dropped in some things which I'd hoping you might catch on to, but you didn't. You sort of went around them, but that's okay. Sort of when
Yeah.
I said my guys could be on the phone a lot more, you could have dug specifically more deeper into that and said, really? So what is it?
Right.
In our experience, typically it's because they spend most of their time doing flippers, floppers, flappers. Is that what you reckon is the case? So well,
Yeah.
I do spend a lot of time. So you can get me talking more maybe about the manual stuff. Yeah. And when
Right.
you ask them why do they avoid the phone, what did they say? You can ask probing questions
Yeah.
like that. Otherwise, I thought it was good. I liked your start. I liked the humor. Kudos to you.
Okay. No, I love it. Thank
Verbose
you.
at times, and even you spotted it though. You said word salad. You did get a little,
Yeah.
wordy at times. Try not to, as I say, vomit on people. Keep everything as short, as brief as you can. But otherwise, well done. Very good.
Okay. Yeah, no, thank you. That means a lot. I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
How do you feel that you did, Brandon?
I think I did good. I slipped back into the comfort. I haven't cold called in like 8 or 9 months since I left for come back to university. But I've done it so many times that and I will say I did feel myself rush, and I'm trying to figure out in the moment, did I used to take control back better, or have I always been rushed by that when they say oh yeah, give me 10, and it's all right, well, I did feel that kind of run away from me a little bit, but no, overall, I feel the rust came off really fast. Usually, by the time I get through an opener with the opener that I love and used on this one, if they give me the time, I'm all right, I'm in. Now we're gonna have a conversation. I feel it really suits my style of setting, where I'm a little, and we didn't really get to this part, but I'm a little more chill on the ask. I'll still always say hey, let's shoot for this Friday or next Friday or whatever, and that timeline might be, you could dispute that and say you should go sooner, and I might agree. But I think it kind of works with my style of oh, this chill dude's just calling. He wants to learn a little bit about my company, maybe something that might be valuable. So that's the thing I try to embody, and I feel I slipped back into. But I also can ramble, and I started doing that at the end, where it's well, here comes the word salad. That what I was really, I think, trying to ask was you've been manual, why are you not automatic and automated yet? And so some of that's just the pressure, I guess. But yeah.
Well, good job.